Okay, we are live. It is Wednesday. Hi. How are you guys? Excuse me. I think like the pollen and stuff are starting to get to me as all the plants are breaking open, which is amazing. I'll just wait a minute for everyone to get on, but I thought I would do kind of a check-in update on how my walking is going. And oh, hi from Norway. Awesome. Oh, there's my sister Christy. I thought I'd do a check-in how the walking's going. And then, if you guys are familiar, on Monday I did microdose of Tirzepatide and I started MELANOTAN too. So I thought we could talk about that. Beso blessed says good morning. Good morning. You guys are so kind. And then also, you can ask me any questions you want, and I'll do my best to respond. Just to catch you up on the walk this morning, I am 1 mile in, and I have 2 miles to go, so thought we'd chat during it. Christy says I'm going to come over and borrow a flat iron. Perfect. I'm sure we've got a million of those in this house of beauty stock. Actually, Christy, I have like a new whatever that company's called, GHI or whatever. Okay, so today is day 8 of my walking challenge to walk 3 miles for 30 days. Again, I don't know why I decided on this challenge. Yeah, GHD, exactly. I don't know why I decided on this challenge. If I had given myself more time to actually analyze this challenge, I would have probably not done it because it just requires so much time. Like, I should have done a challenge like try to do plank for 3 minutes a day for 30 days. That would have been a more efficient 30-day challenge than walk 3 miles a day. So, future ideas for challenges. But I guess what I should add to that is this is a hard challenge because it's so time consuming and it's every day. And I am grateful that I'm doing it. And today is day 8. And honestly, after day 2, I really didn't think, I really started to contemplate in my mind, okay, this is a hard challenge. If you can't do it every day, you'll be okay. People will understand. You're a loser, like you're a normal person. You can't sometimes make it. And there have been some crazy things that have happened to me while in this challenge. It's telling me one of my mile splits. I will tell you guys, the watch does not seem to keep the same algorithm as the treadmill. So I always feel like my watch thinks I walked less than the treadmill. And if you've ever worn a watch and walked on a treadmill or ran on a treadmill and did, maybe that's a normal thing. Melissa says, so motivating for us. Keep going. Yeah, okay. Hey, Candy. So, point being, this is a hard challenge. I'm 8 days in. I didn't give up. Even yesterday, I thought I wasn't going to do it. And then I decided in the middle of editing to go outside and walk for an hour, which was super therapeutic. It was a beautiful day. And I don't know. I just share all this with you because I think a lot of people probably have like the same feelings, the same concerns whenever they start something or they're in the middle of it and then crap happens in your life and you're just like, what is the point? And I really don't know if there is a point besides just personally feeling successful at something. That's the point of it. There is no other point. Yeah, maybe my legs will get more toned from doing this walk every day. Maybe somehow I'm increasing my VO2 max. I don't know. But those are like secondary and tertiary benefits. I really think that challenges like this are just mentally for you. And that's how it is for me. Anyways, hope it's sounding okay. We can get into the peptides now after I've given you my rant about my weird walking challenge goal and how that's going. Wait, I think I saw the huge thing. Okay, wait, Christy says, it's because you don't move your hands as much as what they average, so it doesn't count the steps. Yeah, well, so I was thinking about that, Christy. In case you don't know, my sister, this is my sister, Christy, sweet and sassy. And she lives in Utah, but she's actually here in California right now, and she's over at my dad's house, so that's the reason she's like, I'm gonna come over and get a flat iron. All right, so hopefully I'll put that all together for you. No, I agree, Christy. That's the reason sometimes when I'm walking, I try to like make this arm move more. I'm like, come on, see that I'm walking. Okay, so sounds good, looks good. Okay, so, oh, by the way, you guys, I know that I always wear like Lululemon leggings, and I know that those aren't like the trendy things at the gym anymore. I mean, they're still good for yoga, but I know like all the weightlifting girls like wear these like, I don't know what they are. I don't even know what to call them, but they're like leggings that make your butt look extra, you know? So I did order a pair from Instagram because I was told they're the best butt lifting leggings. And this is what I find so funny now on Instagram, or just in sales in general on brands. They all will tell you these sold out in minutes. Now it's your turn, you can get them. Like, I think that this like whole sellout urgency thing, which I totally get from a seller like standpoint, I mean, it's great marketing. I think it all started with the freaking Stanley Cup, and then everyone copied, because this freaking Stanley Cup's like impossible to get when they release them, because they purposely just don't put enough stock on. And it's the same with these leggings. I don't think, it's not that they sell out, it's that they purposely, no, I don't know why you don't, just keep going. They purposely just don't put out enough stock, so that it's like they drive this interest of, oh, we sold out. And then they'll release some new stock, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so it's a mental thing. Anyways, I did buy them. And I will go to the gym later to lift, and I think today is shoulders. Monday I did legs. Oh, with my whole challenge thing, yesterday I did not go to yoga at 6 a.m. So that was one kind of hiccup in my regular routine, but I did not go to yoga yesterday morning. Just put that out there, to be honest. Okay, moving on to peptides. So a lot of you probably saw the deal that the Natural Chaos app now has with regarding Tirzepatide. And I've talked a lot about peptides, obviously, this year. And I've talked a lot about my experience with semaglutide and how those GLP-1 agonists work, which is really incredible. And and so I haven't used semaglutide. I should back this up. I stopped using semaglutide in December, and then tried to regain weight because I had gotten so thin, because it's that powerful. But in March, when we were going to Vail, I did dose a basically old semaglutide that I had never used, but it was reconstituted, but it had been sitting there for months and months and months. So it wasn't super potent, but I did dose it before going to Vail, just to like help me not get inflamed and help me like be a little bit more in control of food, because when I travel, that is hard. And it worked. Like, it wasn't as powerful as it would have been if I had used it like in its original potency before it kind of, you know, went degraded over time in the refrigerator. But it was an amazing tool to help me. Oh, good morning, Jeremy Gold. It was an amazing tool to help me. Okay, so that's the semaglutide. And as I've done research into the GLP-1s and just into the world of peptides, obviously the tirzepatide comes up because the tirzepatide has been proven to be 2% more effective than semaglutide at helping people drop weight. And one of the reasons is because it has an extra component to it. It has this GIB receptor component that apparently helps you store less fat. It has something to do with fat storage besides the GLP-1 that works on your gut-brain axis, keeping you full, satiated, and balancing out your blood sugar. So you have something that's balancing out your blood sugar, and then you have something that's helping you store fat in the best way possible, or not store fat, right? So it's kind of this two-pronged peptide, which is awesome and effective. And I don't need the full dose of tirzepatide, of course. I don't need to drop any more weight. I just wanted it in a microdosing fashion to allow me to eat and stay motivated and gain more muscle while staying lean. And so if you, in the bodybuilding forums and like the bros and stuff, and you go on the Reddit and all those like bodybuilding forums, you'll see people microdosing the tirzepatide who are building muscle, because you can do it in small amounts that will help you stay lean while putting on mass. So that is the test we're doing right now. So I started the tirzepatide at a low dose on Monday night inside the Natural Chaos app. And basically, if a starting dose is 2,500 mcgs, I did 1,000. So like a lot less, right? And with the semaglutide, typically by 48 hours after dosing, I start to feel like a nausea set in, things like that. I have not felt that yet. So today would be my 2 days out from it. So like I'm looking at 48 hours almost right now. And I do not feel any sensation of nausea from the tirzepatide at this low dose. So that's interesting. We'll see how that goes. Okay, then the MELANOTAN too is the one that should make me tan, because obviously I'm white. And it's not just a vanity thing. I mean, obviously having a beautiful, consistent skin color is like something to desire. So that could be the vain concept of it. But if you are super fair, having that extra melanin coat and protect your nucleus, the cells, the nucleus inside your cells, which are the ones that get damaged from UV rays, right? So it's kind of like SPF. Like I'm going to be, by getting a consistent tan, I'm going to have more protection from the sun. Okay, so with MELANOTAN 2, the loading dose is like 5 days. Okay, you inject 5 days in a row, you go outside in the sun naked, and you just let the sun basically activate the melanin that was pushed into your system that is supposed to be reacting. I did it Monday night, and then it was too late to go outside when I did it. The next day it was cloudy all day, and it's still cloudy now. So yesterday I didn't even dose. I waited because I was like, I'm not going to be able to go outside. It's cloudy now, but my understanding is by 11 a.m. it's no longer going to be cloudy. So then I think I'll dose and then go in the sun for like 20 minutes. And we'll just start and see. I did film my body Monday, to show you like how white I am, obviously, and then we'll do like a comparison after I use the MELANOTAN 2 for a while. Now, there are concerns about MELANOTAN 2. Mostly the concern is that like you have freckles like me. Obviously freckles are areas of your skin that have more melanin. So if you have like freckles and moles, those can get much darker, okay? And some people don't like using MELANOTAN 2 because of that result. That might be something I don't like either. So I'm just gonna take it slow and not overdo it. Like, there are people who have made themselves like literally black using melanotan too. These were white girls, they made themselves black, okay? So it is effective. I do not want to be that dark. And that's not my goal. My goal is just to have like a nice consistent coating so that I'm protected from the sun, and also I just, you know, look tan, and that'd be great. Has anybody used melanotan 2 or Tirzepatide? Hold on, I missed this. Okay, Jenny says, is naked just because get all surface exposed to sun? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could go out in a bikini, but my understanding is that wherever I have material, right, then you will get, it's like tanning. You should get a difference between the color uptake. And, you know, I live very privately. There's no one around me, so it's not hard for me to just go outside for a few minutes and expose everything. But, yeah, I mean, obviously you could do it in a bathing suit. I think some people do the melanotan too, and then just go in a tanning bed to get the reaction, like in an efficient pattern. I've also been thinking this. Okay, let's say I want my body to react, but I don't want my face to react as much. I've been thinking, what if I put on a ton of SPF mineral sunscreen on my face, and I put on my solar shade, and then I'm just letting the rest of my body be exposed. So that is one idea. Although I want my face to be a little bit more colored. I don't like it when it's too much tan, because then that doesn't really show the brightness of the skin. Sometimes it kind of like dulls it out, which could be a problem. So I don't know. Just always on, you know, thinking about it, trying to decide on what I'll do. When are you going to do exosomes? Oh, Love Fest. Thank you for that question. I have done exosomes. Last year in the app, I did exosomes a few times. Those lives are still up. So anytime I do an injectable, we do it in the app. I do it live. And that live stays in the app under my profile. So if you join the app and you go to my profile, you can just scroll down the 4-year history and see every live I've done with all the different injectables. Or you can search the app by topic, mesotherapy, tox, filler, threads, etc., peptides. And then the lives that I've done on those topics will sort, as well as everyone else, thousands and thousands of people in the app will sort into those categories as well. Maybe only do my face once. Melissa says, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking today I'll dose, I'll go out for 20 minutes, and we'll just get like a base coating, whatever that's gonna be. And then we'll watch it, and maybe any other time I go out in the sun. I mean, I always have sunscreen on my face anyways, but anytime I go out specifically to try to get the uptake from the melanotan on my skin, I'll probably cover my face more and make sure that I don't overexpose it. Oh, Love Fast asks, which is your preference, exosomes or Botox? You know, this is why I love talking skincare. That's a great question, and I hope you don't mind me using it as an example. Okay. People, and I get it, I get why you think this, people tend to ask me questions comparing things that are not comparable. So for instance, this question, exosomes versus Botox. True, they're both injectables, but that's the only thing they have in common, because exosomes have nothing to do with stopping the movement of muscle. Tox stops the movement of muscle. Exosomes have the ability to build skin, have the ability to improve, you know, that structure where you're placing them. So when you ask me which one do I prefer, well, they're not the same thing at all. So that's like asking me, do I like conditioner or shampoo? I mean, I like them both, but they do different things, right? So to answer your question, I like them both, but if I could only use one, I guess it would be Botox or tox. I'm not allowed to say the word that starts with a B. I would rather use tox because if you can't stop your muscles from moving, then you're always going to have those creases. And you can do whatever you want to make the skin plumper, brighter, etc. But you'll still always have those lines and those creases if you can't minimize the muscle movement. So number one is always stop the creasing, right? Stop the creasing. If you can't stop the creasing, I don't know what you're going to do. Like, you can shove a bunch of exosomes in your face. You can put a lot of other crap in your face, and that's fine. But if you can't stop the creasing, then I don't really know what your goal is. Now, some people don't want to use toxin. That's totally fine. That's a totally different issue. That's just them not wanting to use the toxin, which that's their choice, and they can do other things. But if you think that some other mesotherapy product is going to be as effective as tox that stops the creasing, that's just not the case. Okay, there's tox. It stops muscle movement. That's what it does. That's what it's really good at. Everything else does other things, but they don't stop the creasing. I was actually talking to a guy in yoga the other day, and he was asking me, this is funny because I guess he knows I do this stuff, I don't know. And he kept saying, well, he was actually the one who said to me, well, should I start with exosomes? And he has like a full furrowed forehead. And he was like talking about it, and he's like, should I start with exosomes? And I'm like, I mean, you can start anywhere you want, but you're just not going to see a big change from just shoving exosomes in your forehead. Like, stop the creasing with tox, and then add in the biostimulators, the skin brighteners, you know what I mean? Like, that would be the course of action. So, hopefully that helped a lot of people understand, because I see these questions a lot, and I totally understand why you're confused. Because, I mean, people get toxins and filler confused. Like, they just don't understand the difference. And that's okay, because it is a world unto its own. And it's okay that you asked me. And I'll probably have this spiel, 2,000 more times in my life, and that's okay too. Amy Align says, I just did Inatox yesterday. I did about 1 unit in each area because I was nervous to do too much. I'm 27 and it's more preventative. I'm not seeing anything yet. Yeah, okay. Well, you just did it yesterday, and that's awesome, Amy, and way to get on top of it. My first tox was done at 25, right before I got married. And it's because, like, my frontalis and this whole, like, corrugator area is so strong that, like, I didn't want to be like this my whole wedding, right? Because when I'm talking to people, I start to, like, look like this. And I look like that right now because I'm not toxing my forehead. And I've explained why right now. But point is that I atrophied my frontalis muscle a ton. So right now I'm not toxing it so that I can grow tissue again. But Amy, so Inatox usually has a really fast uptake, but not 1 day uptake, okay? Like, nothing has that fast of an uptake. So you did it yesterday. I mean, for me, I see Inatox taking effect usually around day 3 or 4, and then full results like a week. So just hang in there. You should see some improvement in a little bit. Also, you're 27, and I'm assuming this is your first time using Inatox. You did 1 unit in every place. That's fine. Way to start slow. It'll be interesting how much you notice the impact with 1 unit, but obviously you can go and up it if in like a week or 2 you're not happy yet with, how it's stabilized. Oh, I missed something. Okay. Jenny says, this is why I love the Natural Chaos App community. Where else can you ask the type of question besides a medical clinic? and asking there, you'll get sold both products, and if they aren't for you. Yeah, I know. Well, and also, like, I get too, like, going to these places and feeling kind of like overwhelmed and feeling like I don't know what I need, I don't know what I want, I don't even know all the possibilities out there. And that is what's nice about going to like a medical spa, but sometimes it can be really intimidating too, right? Some people don't want to ask questions, some people feel dumb, like they should know these things. Where were you supposed to learn those things? Okay, so don't feel dumb. So it's totally fine, but I think a lot of people do feel like a resistance to asking questions because they feel like they should know the answers, which you shouldn't. And that is a huge benefit of our app because that's where you can dive in and dissect all this stuff with a community who loves talking about it. And it just helps people be more aware of what they want to do, right? Amy says, thank you so much. That was so informative. Oh, good. Amy, I'm so glad. Yeah. Can you microneedle exosomes? Yes, you can, and I have. And actually, I will say this. The last time I injected exosomes, they were spicy. Like, yeah, it was, those exosomes were a lot more painful and kind of swelly and caused some inflammation at the injection sites, much more than, I don't know, I would, if you've ever done Miracle L, I would put the exosomes kind of in that category, or at least the exosomes I recently did last time in the Miracle L category of spiciness. I was surprised. I was like, holy crap, there's not enough numbing cream in the world to make this. In fact, I think if I ever do exosomes again, I'm gonna mix them with injectable lidocaine just to help minimize. But the problem with injectable lidocaine is it burns too. So, you know, it's a whole mess when it comes to doing mesotherapy because you're doing so many injections. So really topical numbing is the best idea. You can't really numb your whole face with injectable lidocaine. So, you know, there is a benefit to using a cannula where you would numb up the area that you're going to do the pilot hole, right? So when you make that larger hole for your cannula, that area is numb. But once you push the cannula up wherever, that's painful. And you wouldn't do that with meso. You would do that with something like filler or Sculptra. So yeah, meso is just a beast. And every time I do it, it's painful, but you know, you just get through it. Even with topical numbing cream, I'm telling you. Anybody who ever makes fun of me for like coating my face in topical numbing cream and being like, there's too much cream. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna stick my face like 1,000 times right now, so I really don't think there's enough numbing cream in the world that's going to make that easier on me. Okay, so using exosomes topically to heal is amazing. Yes. And Candy just said, awesome product for, yes. Are you still planning to inject Maester PLL into your top lip, as you said in your Maester PLL video? I'm curious if the product can be injected. So I did do that. So 2 weeks ago, when I did the Maester PLL mesotherapy through my face, I started up here, worked through my cheek, I did the top of my lip, and then I did this whole area, and so this was kind of like what it was. So I did that 2 weeks ago, and then, sorry, there was a glitch there, and then Monday, I did the other Maester. So there's like 3 Maester products. There's the PLLA that I did on 2 weeks ago. There is the PDRN, which is salmon DNA. So I did that one 2 days ago. And then there's a hyaluronic acid, just like a hydrating one that's not super cross-linked, so you can use it as meso also. But, you know, those ones can be microneedled into You don't have to inject them. The only reason, this is how I would scale when you decide to microneedle versus inject. If the product is pretty expensive, like if the product is over 40 bucks, I'm not gonna mesotherapy that. Like I'm not gonna microneedle that in. Like some of these ones that I inject are $100 or more. There's a lot of waste in microneedling. And so I can understand microneedling with like Snero, things that are just like hyaluronic acids and things like that that have maybe some brighteners in them, some glutathione, whatever, peptides. But when they're expensive, you should inject those. So don't buy expensive ones, in my opinion, this is just me. Don't buy expensive ones until you are going to inject them. If you're just going to microneedle, stay on the cheaper side because you're gonna waste a lot of product, right? So that's just kind of like my personal theory on that. Do we use HA with retinol? You can use hyaluronic acid with retinol. In fact, there's so many over-the-counter products, I mean, they all have HA in them. HA is just a molecule that holds moisture. It's put into everything. And then they say that it's anti-aging just because they're giving you a molecule that likes to hold water. That's all it is. And then retinol is literally in everything now too. So, and I don't even like retinol. I like Retin A. I don't like these kind of fake retinols that pretend to be like their Retin A in like every product now. It's actually really annoying, to be quite honest, because I just don't think that those ones are effective. And then they cause people to not use the actually effective Retin A. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. Oh, Jean says that's excellent advice. Okay, good. What are you wanting to achieve with injecting the PLLA above the top lip? So PLLA is a biostimulator. It's going to encourage different types of collagen in your skin for up to 2 years. So obviously we lose collagen above our lip, we get vertical lines. This whole area shows age very fast. You know, like it's like the neck, the upper lip, obviously the eyes, and the hands. Those are where you start to see kind of definitive things that help you. It's like rings on trees. You can look at someone's neck and their hands and their upper lip. You can kind of, that will give it away. That will give away like kind of where they're, you know, existing in life. And that's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So the goal with PLLA, injecting above my lip, is the same goal as injecting PLLA here in my temples, is to grow collagen. Same here, same through my cheeks. Oh, Lady Lawyer says, I think acid and get word. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with a lot of these things. So hyaluronic acid is not an acid like one that's going to, you know, cause you to peel, or is it going to be reactive with another acid or another active. Hyaluronic acid is just a molecule that holds water. That's all it is. And hyaluronic acid can come in different molecular weights, and the smaller the molecular weight, the easier it is for that hyaluronic acid to pass through the skin barrier into your skin to actually boost moisture. So like the Coste Baja hyaluronic acid that we've microneedled with for years, which is excellent, it has different molecular weights of hyaluronic acid. So when you microneedle with it, you're getting different penetration of those hyaluronic acid molecules because they have different sizes, and some of them can penetrate deeper than larger ones. I use Miracle L in that area as well. Oh, girl, then you know you're a badass, because Miracle L burns like no one's business. I haven't used Miracle L in so long because I remember the first time I used Miracle L, and so many people in the app had used Miracle L before me, and so many of them had talked about the burn and how it is, and somehow I was oblivious to that, and then I wouldn't use it. And the entire time during that live, I felt like the biggest fool, and I didn't want to say anything because I felt so stupid. It was burning like no one's business, and I remember just being like, oh my gosh, you must be allergic to this. You should have patch tested. And I just had to get through it because I was doing this live with Miracle L. And later on, I was talking to our skin squad, and everybody was like, yeah, Miracle L burns like a bee, and like, that's just how it is. And so that was my experience with Miracle L. I think I've used it 2 times, but like I said, I really hate spicy products because injecting your face is spicy enough. And I have to say that the Maester PLL was not spicy. Now, it does leave you with kind of a swollen, tender feeling the next day, but that goes away. So I really was happy with how easy using the Maester PLL was. And during the filler house sale that we just had, I got 3 more boxes of the Maester PLL so that I can continue the whole series, because you're supposed to do 1 session per month for 3 to 4 months. So I did 1 session, I just ordered 3 more boxes, so I'm going to do 4 months in a row of the PLL in my face and see what happens. Candy says the PCL are brutal but so worth it. Yes. You know what's so interesting to me about PLL and PCL products is that I think, like for me, when it comes to threads, PCL is so much better of a thread. Like, I never have any burny or stingy or pokey experiences from PCL threads. But PLL threads, it feels like you can feel them burning and breaking down for weeks. And like if you've ever put PLL threads in your lip, you will feel those for weeks. Whereas when I put PCL threads there, I never feel them. But then the injectable liquids, you would think that they would have the same experience. Like if PLL threads sting, you would think injectable PLL would sting also. It doesn't seem to, or at least not this Maester one. And even Sculptra never did, which is a bigger percentage of PLL. So it's an interesting thing. Do you think you could just keep on doing the Maester monthly like 6 months in a row? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, you're right, the liquid and the threads are opposite. I know. Okay, I'm glad that you verified that, Candy, because sometimes I'm like, okay, we have hit 3 miles. You guys got me there. Thank you. In case you're wondering, I walked at a 5 incline and I walked at a speed of 3. Okay, I was supposed to share with you guys about the Tirzepatide Deal that is now in the app. So if you want, and you probably saw the post before this live in the profile. Anyways, so the deal is, and it's awesome, and we've been sharing about peptides since the beginning of the year in our app, and when the peptide group is going strong and huge. So if you have lots of questions on peptides, not just the GLP-1s and the Tirzepatide that's going to make you skinny, but like, all of them for like recovery, for sleep, for fixing your GI tract. It's amazing, the world of peptides. But we finally did secure a vendor for our app who is going to do peptides. And right now they're starting with Tirzepatide, which is obviously very desirable for most people. And a lot of people are spending $500 plus a month for Tirzepatide. In our app, you're going to get Tirzepatide for $160 for 10 milligrams, which is enough to last you a month or even longer, depending on how much you dose. So like, for instance, my microdose with the Tirzepatide, that will last me like 3 months. If you are doing the full dose of Tirzepatide to like really drop a lot of weight, it'll be enough for 4 injections, so 4 weeks. It's going to come from a doctor with a script, and it's shipping from California, and it will ship anywhere in the US, and it will ship worldwide as well. You're just going to pay a different shipping fee, obviously. So that is the deal in the app. And so it's just for our app members. Now, we have been considering doing a more expensive option for people that are not app members. So we might add that on in the future, but honestly, like, you guys should be an app member if you're into this stuff, because it's not just getting this deal on Tirzepatide, but you'll get incredible discounts on everything, but you'll also get the lives and the community who's doing all this stuff. So like a lot of your questions, a lot of the things that you're interested in, it's all in the app. The questions that I constantly see they're all answered in the app. But I mean, I get that they can be confusing for sure. See, my watch says I only walked 2.44 miles, but I did 3 miles on the treadmill. So just in the future, when I do a video on this and we look at like my health app, just know that I am always walking 3 miles, whether my watch wants to agree or not. Okay, Tirzepatide is a weekly shot, just FYI for people. Yes, it's not a daily shot. So like a lot of people will do their GLP-1s like on a Sunday night, and they'll just inject it and then they're good for the next week. And also, you guys, there is like at least I know for myself, there is a cumulative effect to the GLP-1. So like, I mean, when I was using semaglutide, I got to the point where like I was tapering to twice a month and then once a month. And so I only did semaglutide weekly for like 6 weeks. And then I started extending out how often I dosed it. So there's a lot of ways to use it, and you can use it how you're feeling, right? Like, you don't have to stay on the weekly dosage if you feel like you can't eat enough. Like, if you can't eat your 100 grams of protein a day, then back your Tirzepatide down. It doesn't matter what protocols or what somebody else is dosing. It doesn't matter. These are all individual receptors for each of us. And you could build up a high sensitivity to it, which is fine. So you would need less, or your dose can extend out much longer. It's all about finding that happy place where you feel there's no food noise. You feel in control of your food. When you sit down to eat your meat, you feel confident in eating that. When you're done with it, there's no like desire to have more. There's no desire, like there's just, it really does eliminate the overeating and the food noise. And if you can find that really sweet spot for yourself where you can dose, have that control, get in your protein, not feel tired, that's the sweet spot. And you're only going to learn that sweet spot for you as you use it. Okay, so you can follow loading doses, which is great. I do, like you can follow these protocols to get into it. But so much of it has to do with you paying attention to your body. And if you're somebody who feels like, I don't know anything about my body, like it doesn't feel intuitive the way like some people say their bodies, like they just know, they know they're ovulating or they know whatever. Like I don't know those things about myself. And I've never been that intuitive about my body, but I will say that using peptides has helped me feel more intuitive and more aware, because for me, I can feel like them working, and I can see sometimes when, okay, that was too much, or I need a little bit more. Like you just start to be able to pay attention, which is awesome if you've always felt like you don't know what's going on with your body. And that's definitely been something that I've dealt with my whole life. And so the peptides really do bring in a sense of body awareness that I never had before. So I hope that helps you guys. Oh, Jean says she 100% agrees. Yes. Oh, there's our girl D. Hey. Oh, Christina says, exactly. I'm so glad you're saying this. Yes. Yes, you guys. Okay. Lady Lawyer says, I feel like I can't use peptides effectively because I am not super fit. Okay. Lady Lawyer, I love that you shared that because there is so much truth to that, but it's also a great place to start. So if you are super fit and super optimized and your cells function extremely well, you will get the most bang for your buck when it comes to using peptides, okay? And if you're like Lady Lawyer and you don't feel like your body is fit yet, and so then you feel like it's a waste, it's not. I'll tell you why. The peptides, in the beginning, you will use more peptides, or they won't be as efficient as they could be if you were more optimized, but they will start to optimize you. The GLP-1s will optimize your inflammation. They will optimize your blood sugar. They optimize your pancreas. They optimize like even your brain. Like it starts to work on it. So absolutely, you might not be fit or optimized at this point when you start using peptides. I wasn't. But they're the entryway, especially the GLP-1s. They are the entry gate to starting to optimize your body so that in 6 months when you use a peptide, you're getting more bang for your buck. Does that make sense? So there's never a wrong time to start peptides. And yes, if you were an Olympic athlete, those peptides are going to be much more efficient in your body. But just because you're not optimized yet doesn't mean you can't use them to help launch you and get you optimized. Okay. All right, you guys. I love you guys. I hope this was a good live. Thanks for getting me through my walk. I'm going to go do my ab thing now, and then I'm going to edit for Thursday's video. Oh, what I will tell you, this week, it's going to be a throwback video. I have this like head microneedling video that I did a couple years ago. So that's the video I'm going to put out this week. It just helps me with a bunch of stuff that's going on to repurpose one of our older videos. So I hope you guys don't mind. And I hope that if you watch that video, you find it helpful. So it's kind of like, I need to go watch it because I'll do an intro for it. Remember what I did, but I used microneedling, like the stamp one, into my scalp, and we do like a hair mask and stuff. So anyways, you guys, okay, have a good rest of your Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. If you want the deal on the Tirzepatide for $160, join the app or go to my website. The last blog post was all about it. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.